Good day, everyone. Meteorologist Mark Muller here. How's everybody getting along? Guess what we got for you? We have Fiona. We have Tropical Storm Fiona. This is really outperforming the models. This was not even supposed to be a tropical depression by this point. It was still supposed to be in Vest 96L, but look at it. Yeah, and this is the projected track. Now, where does it go beyond there? Well, you know, the GFS and versus King Euro, there is distinct differences on where this storm goes. In fact, the big old GFS has it sitting right off the southeast coast. What does this mean? Will this make a run up the U.S. East Coast? Or will it make a run for Florida? Or the Gulf of Mexico? Let's take a look at all the models, and I'll show you what I think could happen. All right, so here we are with Fiona. Take a look at this. This is what we've been waiting for all season. This is a pretty strong tropical storm. It is outperforming the models by a long shot here. This system was not even supposed to become a depression, let alone a tropical storm by this point. But unfortunately, you're going to be dealing with the tropical storm here in the northern Lesser Antilles, the Virgin Islands, eventually Puerto Rico later in the weekend, and Hispaniola here, and eventually the eastern Bahamas. So let's take a look. We put Fiona into motion here. Let's take a look. I'm showing you the GFS model first, and then momentarily I'll be showing you the Euro. We're going to compare here. Now, as we head towards Friday at 5 p.m., look at this. This is going to be bearing down on St. John's. Come later in the evening, look at that. You can see exactly where the center of circulation will be coming in respect to your island. So take a look at that. It looks like the guidance track is taking it south of Puerto Rico. So let's see if the GFS here agrees, and then I'll be showing you the Euro. Look at that. That's Saturday, right around September 17th at 5 p.m. Take a look at that. Some of the feeder bands starting to make its way into Puerto Rico. Look at that. Heavy rains moving in. And look at that. The GFS keeping a lot of the heaviest rain to the south. So initially the circulation is a bit lopsided. Now, you take a look at this. The GFS and the National Hurricane Center are kind of almost in agreement here. You see with the guidance envelope, at least this is through September 20th here. It gets a little bit muddled after this, and I'll show you what I mean. But look at this. Keeping some of the heavier showers and thunder showers here across Hispaniola. This is not good news. This is going to create mudslides, flooding. This is where you get a lot of your deaths. But yeah, the GFS kind of hinting, along with the National Hurricane Center, that, you know, so far through here, and I'll show you the Euro. I'll give you a hint. The Euro is a bit further south than the GFS and the model guidance of the National Hurricane Center. So as we go in time here, let's see what the good old GFS does here. Let's see if it's up to its old tricks, or let's see. So, you know, you get towards Wednesday, September 21st here. Look what we have. This is starting to resemble quite a hurricane at this point. Is this going to continue towards the northwest? Potential East Coast threat? Eventually bend more towards the west, towards Florida? Or will this make it into the Gulf of Mexico? That, my friends, is the big question here. So, as we continue in time, let's take a look. So, Bahamas. Yeah, you're starting to look at a full-fledged hurricane, especially just east of you. So, a lot of the islands will be spared. Some of the northeast islands, according to the GFS, looking like this system could hit you or clip you at least. And look at this. We really start to form an eye wall here. This is Friday, September 23rd at 2 a.m. This is a pretty big circulation. If you look at this, this is pretty tremendous. This system has a lot going for it, and look what happens. If you look, what the GFS here is indicating is this high pressure that the Euro was showing, the strong blocking high to the east, is a bit further east on the GFS. So it allows it to ride along the outer periphery of this ridge. On the Euro, I'm hinting to you, I'll show you on the Euro, there's a big blocking high to the north. The GFS pushes that more towards the northeast. And watch what happens here. Essentially, you have this hurricane really starting to ramp up along the southeast coast. Look at this. This is Saturday, September 24th at 11 a.m. this coming Saturday. Look what we have for you in the Carolinas. If the GFS verifies, you have a full-fledged major hurricane southeast of Wilmington, Delaware, or Wilmington, North Carolina for that matter. We'll get to Wilmington, Delaware here momentarily. But look at this. This is craziness. This is just, yeah, if this verifies, this is bad news for the Outer Banks. Look at this heavy rain moving up into the northeast. Now, don't get me wrong, this will be beneficial rain if this does happen. But it's going to cause a lot of beach erosion, a lot of problems. There's Wilmington, Delaware there. So, yeah, you'll be getting some heavy rain up and through that portion. But look at that. This is Sunday at 2 p.m. It will be getting pretty nasty here along the northeast coast. You'll get stiff northeast winds, beach erosion, tremendous wave action, heavy rainfall rates, 1 to 2 inches an hour at least. So, yeah, this is not looking very good here on the GFS. And as you can see, look at this. It starts to form a comma head, becoming more subtropical by Sunday night here. And heading on into Monday, this gets caught up in the westerlies and gets shoved right up into the Canadian Maritimes here. And that becomes a fading memory, replacing with our next tropical wave here, entering the northern Caribbean here. And you can see it. Take a look at this. As we head in time, the last few frames here, this starts to move towards the Gulf of Mexico by September 27th. So let's get into the Euro. All right, King Euro model here. Let's take a look. Let's see how it compares to the GFS here. So as we go in time, this is approaching Saturday. This weekend, this system is moving through the northern Lesser Antilles, the Virgin Islands. Here's Puerto Rico. Yep, this system is going to be affecting all of these islands. And since, look at that, the northern edge of the storm is going to be the most intense part of this storm. So take a look at this. This is right around Sunday, September. So this is really early morning hours Sunday. Take a look at this. This is right around 1, 2 a.m. This system is moving right over Puerto Rico at this point, or the center of circulation just to the south. And watch how it approaches the island of Hispaniola. This is where I throw caution at this point to the wind. Take a look at this. Any storm that approaches Hispaniola, this is like a graveyard for tropical systems. Now, this is Monday, earlier Monday morning. The system's going to be heading up across Hispaniola. And if you know anything about the mountainous terrains of Hispaniola, tropical systems really have a hard time getting through this area. So the Euro's indicating it will weaken, get to the eastern tip of Cuba. This is by Wednesday, September 21st. So we have plenty of time to watch Fiona here in the U.S. and the Bahamas. But look at this. It will be skipping up along the coastline here of Cuba. This is Friday, September 23rd. So we're going out about a week here. Take a look. It is knocking on the door there to Florida. However, if you're anywhere from, I'd say Texas, Louisiana, Panhandle, Florida itself, all the way to Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, even up the East Coast, you definitely want to keep an eye on this storm, because here's the area of high pressure. These are the high pressures I was telling you about that are going to keep this storm on a more west-northwesterly course here in this cone area. And that's going to steer this system. Now, if this high pressure builds further to the west, it'll allow the system to come up more in this area, in the Gulf. If the high pressure system laxes a little bit, which I don't think is going to happen, there's high pressure, there's blocking high up here off of the New England coast as well. It could allow the system, if this high is a little bit further to the east, to come up these coasts. So definitely want to throw caution to all of these areas, but watch as we head into next weekend. This is where trouble starts. This could potentially become a hurricane according to the Euro and come on shore. And of course, the Euro is showing right around just north of Miami here. So that is an interesting conclusion there, bringing it up literally across the Florida Peninsula. There's high pressure to the north, blocking it. So what's it going to do? It's going to go inland, and it's going to stall, according to the Euro. That's bad news. That's going to be tremendous rains coming inland. All right, so look at the Eastern Pacific here. It is lighting up, too, with this invest system. Take a look at this. Yeah, this is going to be a quick spin-up because it will become a tropical storm. This is, oh, look at this. Yeah, this is going to be 13E momentarily here. And take a look at this. It's going to spin off towards Acapulco. So probably getting up towards 60, 70 mile per hour winds here. It will become a problem. There's another area out here. So let's put this into motion, see if we got any chance of any hurricanes coming up. So take a look at this. This is taking us to Sunday, September 18th. So let's just back that up just a few frames. So yeah, this will be heading into Acapulco. Looks like earlier morning, late morning on Saturday. There it is, 2 p.m. Saturday afternoon. And look at that. That slowly heads inland there. So there's going to be copious amounts of rain and moisture moving on the east side of the system. Now take a look. We got another system that's going to be replacing it. Let's see what could potentially happen with this system. Well, it's going to spin out south of Cabo San Lucas here. Take a look at that. So will it stay to the south? Most likely, as high pressure builds over it towards the north. So heading forward, yeah, there's not any major large-scale areas. I don't see any chance of any major hurricanes through this time period through at least Monday, September 26th here. All right, so taking a look at the Western Pacific here. Here is the interesting thing. This storm really brought a lot of rain and wind to Shanghai yesterday and, Wednesday and Wednesday night. But look at this Tropical Storm Wafa here. It is no longer a typhoon. It is spinning rather rapidly here towards northeast China and will head up towards North Korea and eastern Russia by this point. So you see, it really is becoming absorbed into the westerlies. Now look what we have down here. This is Typhoon Nanmadol here. 100-mile-per-hour sustained winds, max gust to 120. This system's going to head up towards 140 to potentially 160 here, a major super typhoon, and look how it's going to affect the southern chain here of Japan. These are just some of the areas that are going to be affected. It will weaken a little bit here once it gets rounding the bend here of the southern coast of Japan. You can see it will potentially be a Category 2/hurricane or Category 3, but by this point, it's still going to be a massive circulation. So let's take a look. See what we got going on here. Watch this storm as we put it into motion here. This storm's going to be a monster. Look at this thing. This has got a massive eye on it. This is by Saturday at 5 p.m. So heading over the weekend, you really want to start to prepare here in southern Japan. And this thing's going to head right across. Look at this. It's still going to be a typhoon way inland here, just east of Hiroshima. So take a look at this. Watch as we continue to put this into motion. Yeah, this thing's still got a formidable eye by Sunday at 2 p.m. So thankfully, this won't be hitting in the middle of the night, but still, look at this. This is tremendous. Eastern eye wall coming into the extreme southern part of Japan here, the southern islands. This is a bad hit for this area. Take a look at this. And this is going to wobble towards the east. Thankfully, it does start to become absorbed into the westerlies here. And look how it just starts to, it does start to fall apart, but look at the moisture here. We're getting up into parts of central Kyoto here, up over towards, the Tokyo area. So this thing's really going to continue to really start to move towards the northeast. Thankfully, it will accelerate, but as it does so, it will bring a lot of wind with it too. It's still going to be 50-mile-per-hour, 65-mile-per-hour gusts up here towards September 20th. So if you are in the Japan area, definitely keep an eye on this system. By this point, next week, Wednesday into Thursday, it'll be a fading memory, but definitely a big storm for Japan here. All right, so let's take a look at the pattern for Fiona for the GFS first here. Let's take a look at this. So here is Fiona, the area of blocking high here over the midsection of the country. You see this high slowly retreating to the northeast. This allows for an open area here, a weakness, so to speak. And take a look at this. So this is where you start to see the breakup of this high to the north. Here's that high. There's a high, but these are slowly retreating to the northeast here. And watch what happens as Fiona becomes stronger. Take a look at that. Just hugging the coastline and also getting embedded on the east side of this trough. So really starting to become entrained in this. So the GFS is a much different solution than the Euro, just hugging up along the U.S. East Coast. All right, we're going to take a look at the conditions here. We have that trough kicking in across the west, that ridge, back east here. We have a little cutoff low here in parts of Maine and up into Quebec here. And look at this massive blocking. This is going to be the theme going forward here. Let's take a look. That high. This is what's going to be steering Fiona here around the periphery of this high. If you're in the southeast and the eastern Gulf, still keep an eye out here. You all need to be keeping an eye out for this potential landfalling storm. And look at this as we head. Let's kick it back towards Sunday here. Look at this. This is a big cutoff low in north. Oh, look at this. This is what I was talking about. This is going to be crazy troughiness. That's going to kick a massive ridge back east here. Now, here's Fiona out here. Let's take a look and see what happens as we go in time. It's just this massive ridge. And this is going to help attract Fiona further to the west and northwest here. So we're going to have to keep an eye on this. There is Friday next week. You can see Fiona here on the Euro is in this vicinity, so we have plenty of time to watch Fiona. But look at that. It starts to make a run for Florida next weekend. Saturday, September 24th, that's right in the Miami area, in and around that area. So definitely want to keep an eye on this. Not to say that this is going to be the track, you know, as I showed you on all the other models, but there it is. It takes it up across the Florida Peninsula. That's in response to these high-pressure systems, and that does look pretty interesting. Now, if you're in the Gulf here or along the southeast coast, you still need to keep an eye on this system, even if you're not in Florida. All right, so let's take a look here, mesoscale-wise. We pretty much, you know, across the country, you know, the problem areas, the Northeast is beautiful, and I'll show you through this. It is Florida that is going to be our tough spot, our trouble spot going forward here. And you know that with the tropics, but even before these tropical systems, and look at here, Southeast Texas too, we're going to be dealing with some showers and thunderstorm activity. So let's go through Thursday night, early Friday morning. You're still going to be dealing with the Gulf is quite a mess lately, and so is off the southeast coast here. So Florida and Texas in particular are going to continue to see showers and thunderstorm action. So if you're into that, that's definitely going to be your cup of tea. But look at this, heading on into Friday night, Saturday. Yeah, it's going to be mainly Florida, coastal, Gulf Coast, immediate areas. Yeah, we have some stronger thunderstorms over here in Nebraska and Kansas. But look at that. The Northeast is shaping up to be a stellar weekend. And it's crazy how beautiful it's going to be. Look at that. So that takes us through Saturday, 2 p.m. So let's flip the coin here. And we'll finish off with the NAM 3 kilometer here. So you can see on the NAM, it's, ooh, look at this high resolution. So yeah, you're getting, here in northern New England, I had a feeling you would get into some of these showers and thunderstorms by later in the weekend. But you know what? Most of it's going to be up here in Ontario and Quebec. That's the great news. Now look at down here into Florida. This is where we get, you know, Saturday night, 8 p.m., and we'll get some big-time thunderstorms here in the Central Plains. So let's take a look at this feature off the southeast coast as we head in time. Let's see if this does anything. Well, it's kind of just going to sit there and spin, but it's going to bring in these tropical moisture from the northeast, and I'll show you those rainfall totals momentarily here. There we go. In the northern part of New England, in the middle of the night, pretty much, you'll be getting some shower and thunderstorm activity. And before I end this segment, I wanted to show you 2 a.m. Sunday morning. Look what the NAM 3 kilometers picking up. This could be the beginnings of a derecho. Yeah, look at that. So it can't go any further here on the time scale, but that is a very, very eye-catching feature here. All right, so the Euro, high resolution. Let's take a look at precipitation. This is going through, so this takes us through the weekend here. And then we go into early next week. Take a look at this. This is before Fiona's moisture starts getting into the southeast. Still going to be rather heavy. This is what I'm talking about. This is going to be setting Florida up for potential flooding problems. You know, we head towards 4 to 6 inches. This is through the midpoint of next week before Fiona even gets into that area. So let's take a look. We'll break down the areas regionally here. Let's take a look at Florida first. So here we have it. So let's take it through the weekend here. And yeah, you're going to be looking, there's going to be a big gradient here. See, look at this. Just immediate Gulf Coast areas. And then look at this. We get into 2-3 inches. 3 inches from Miami all the way up to just east of Orlando here. So we're going to be looking at 2 to 3 inches in these areas. And then we increase that. That's actually starting to include Fiona's moisture come next weekend. This is through September 25th. And look at, these are the kind of rainfall totals we could be looking at here. 5, 6, 7, 8 inches easily. Now let's take a look at the northeast here, and we'll take a look. You are going to be having a very dry weekend, except we get into Sunday there. There it is, northern New England. I showed you on the Mesoscale model. So you'll be picking up about 1/4 to 1/2 an inch on average. I don't think this will work its way down further south until about Monday and Tuesday. So later Monday. So take a look at that. So we get into Tuesday, the 20th, and then Wednesday. So we'll start to see some moisture kick back in. Some of these will have a weak system push through. So we could have some gully washers later Monday into early Tuesday. But that should move through for the most part. And there it is, the North Country again getting hit with more rain. All right, so I wanted to show you rainfall amounts here with Fiona. This is in millimeters, so I can kind of convert this over for you, but I wanted to show you for the Caribbean islands' sake here. Since we're all things tropical, take a look at that. So this is what the Euro's indicating here. This is rather interesting. So this is averaging about 100 to 150 millimeters. That's anywhere from 4 to 6 inches of rain. And then you get up towards 8, 10, 12 inches of rain once you get into some of these dark oranges. And that's the concerning factor just southwest of Puerto Rico up into Hispaniola. These mountainous terrains, this is where we're going to get into some mudslide action. That is not good news. Now, there's going to be a shadow here with the mountains, and thankfully that might spare areas like Port-au-Prince and these areas in Haiti from some of the horrific rain that could fall just east of you. But let's take a look at that. That's what we're looking at for rainfall. All right, so drought monitor across the Northeast. Will Fiona make its way up this way? Well, if Fiona does, that would completely, most likely, bust the drought up here in the Northeast. You can see pretty holding tough here from Boston, where it's still extreme drought, down into southern parts of Rhode Island, where it's extreme. Now, it is spotty in some of these areas, depending on where you are. All of Long Island is in a severe drought, and it's expanding into parts of New Jersey and the Delmarva Peninsula as well. But it's kind of laxed here in places like the Susquehanna River Valley, Binghamton, Wilkes-Barre, Scranton, where you're not even dry anymore. The drought has been busted. So there's relief in some areas, but we'll see going forward here. All right, let's take a look at this massive warming that's going on here across the lower 48. Take a look at this. We got this 80-degree line pushing up into parts of the Northeast, but look at this around the edges, 60s. Look at this Pacific Northwest, some 60s as well. We're really starting to cool things down here. But watch this as we go into Saturday here. So take a look at this. Conditions are continuing to warm here. You can see 80s making their way into New York, Pennsylvania. Look at the bottom dropping out west here. You can see this trough and then the ridge pumping up here in the east. We have your Sunday. And it is actually going to be feeling pretty summer-like here. Mid-80s across much of the Northeast and southern New England. Look at this upper 90s here in the Central Plains. That's craziness. And as we get towards the week, the rest of the week, next week for that matter, take a look at this. It's below 80 across, north of this red line. Look at this out west. Yeah, it is a trough indeed, but look at the heat here. Hundreds in Kansas and Oklahoma. That's craziness. And as we get towards... Look at this. It's a broken record. We have this nice coolness here in the Northeast, but look at this. This is crazy. So, yeah, it's going to remain seasonably warm here in the Northeast. Upper 70s. Beautiful day if you have your Tuesday off. And look at this into Wednesday. Yeah, we start to see a real big trough kicking in here. Look at this heat pumping up here in the east. Extended outlook from our hometown viewers, Binghamton to Scranton's upper Susquehanna River Valley of New York and Pennsylvania, Friday through Tuesday. Take a look at this. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, sunny. Look at the warming trend. We're going to start off in the upper 30s on those normally colder valleys in the upper Susquehanna River Basin, but guess what? Look at this. We warm it rapidly towards 87 on Sunday. Sunday night into Monday, though. This is in Monday night in particular. Showers will kick their way in, probably a quarter to a third of an inch likely. 80s heading down towards 76 for your Tuesday with mostly sunny skies. As always, I want to thank you for joining me for this edition of Weather Eastern and Hurricane Eastern. Don't forget Facebook, social media, MediaMark, also Weather Northeastern, also Hurricane Northeastern, also Susquehanna Weather, also MediaMark.com, WeatherNortheastern.com, Twitter @WeatherEastern. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell button if you haven't already. Question or comment down below. Let's keep the weather conversation going. Thanks for joining me.